Hello, I'm Scott Vargo, your Summit County Manager. We are here today in the Summit Stage bus barn to deliver some really exciting news. The Summit Stage and Summit County government were awarded nearly $35 million from the Federal Transportation Authority related to no and low emission bus and bus facility projects. And so Summit County submitted a grant and we were awarded $34.7 million towards the construction of a new transit facility. That is a big part of Summit County's County Commons master plan. So back in 2015, we went through a process to identify facility needs here in the County Commons campus. One of the big linchpins to that development was the construction of a new transit facility that would accommodate larger buses, more buses, and the electrification of the fleet. And then this facility that we're standing in today will be converted to a new road and bridge facility and a new building and grounds facility, allowing us to take down some old buildings that were constructed back in the 1970s and allow us to continue to move forward with the upgrading of county facilities. And so with that, I would love for Chris Lubers, who is our transit director at Summit County and the Summit Stage, to talk a little bit about the facility itself that's at about 60% stage for design drawings, and he can talk a little bit about what that means to the Summit Stage.
Great. As Scott mentioned, I'm Chris Lubers, Transit Director for Summit County. The bipartisan infrastructure law brought forth about 6 times more funding than we had had previously in previous years, which was fortuitous for us because we had just finished a 60% set of drawings for a 100% electrification, charging, fleet storage, and operations facility. Included in that facility is an employee housing component as well. So we're excited to have received, as Scott mentioned, $35 million towards the construction of this project. This project will help us make good on our transit equity and access study, in which we reached out to the communities in Summit County, focused on underserved and even completely unserved, unrecognized communities, as well as those transit dependent and even those not using transit that we hope to convert to choice riders. This facility will allow us to expand transit, reach out to these people, provide better service, more frequency, and more dependability. The grant application for this facility was successful, I think, not only because it was a well-written grant, but because this project checks a lot of boxes. It checks greenhouse gas reduction, it checks 100% electrification, it brings us a larger facility, allowing transit to grow, an operations component, and of course a housing component. And the facility contains 80% solar. Currently, with the electric buses that we have now, as well as those on order, our fleet will be 30% electrified, a great leap towards 100% electrification. This new facility, again, is not only fleet storage, but will be fleet charging inside as well. So the benefits of this facility are to allow transit to grow, bring better transit, more convenient transit to the communities, including outlying communities of Park and Lake counties. So we're excited about this project. It will take us from an aging facility that has reached its maximum capacity to now a facility that can last 2 and even 3 decades. The charging facility will charge up to 50 buses, whereas now we have the capability of charging 24 buses. Overall, the size of the facility is about 30% larger, which again will allow for at least 2 decades of growth. The housing component of this facility, even though short-term transitional housing, will allow us to recruit more talent and, more importantly, better talent to help transit grow.
Hi everyone, I'm Tamara Pogue. I'm one of your Summit County Commissioners, and I am coming to you today from one of our electric buses at the Summit Stage. So this grant that we're talking about today is a really big deal for Summit County. First of all, this is the largest grant Summit County's ever received. This is typically the amount of money that you see going to urban communities. But thanks to the bipartisan infrastructure bills, smaller communities like ours are really starting to benefit in terms of the dollars that can go to our infrastructure. And the Summit Stage is one of the most valuable pieces of our infrastructure in Summit County. It helps our workforce get from their jobs to their homes. It helps our tourists better enjoy their stay. So this grant money will let us really help support the needs of our workforce and the needs of our tourists. It really helps us lift up some of our more vulnerable members of our community so that they can reach their jobs when they need to. It helps us increase the capacity so that we can stop more times and run more routes. But most of all, it helps us provide a better working environment for our employees at Summit County government. This grant really does meet so many of the priorities that this BOCC has established. Certainly the electrification of our fleet lets us move towards meeting our emissions reduction goals. It also helps us meet the needs of our workforce, which is a huge goal for us. So we are delighted and thrilled to receive these dollars. We really are amazed that a community as small as ours has been such an incredible recipient of these bipartisan infrastructure bills. This really is a historic moment for Summit County because we've never received these funds before, this large an amount of funds before. And the way our capital projects work, this will also allow us to meet other goals because dollars that we don't have to spend on this project, we can use for other projects, like purchasing those electric buses sooner so that we can meet our climate change goals even sooner, like focusing on the housing needs of our community or focusing on the child care needs of our community. There are so many things that we are trying to do as Summit County government right now to make sure that our community is sustainable into the future. And receiving these kinds of dollars from the federal government goes a long way to helping us meet that goal.